right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, another round or two of rain is on the way. I'm timing out the showers and some possible thunder.
And police say it was street racing. 5 cars crash, a life taken, and 3 people ejected. But first tonight, without warning, a home without a working smoke detector catches fire, killing a 3-year-old boy.
We'll come out and check your detectors for you. We'll put new batteries in them for you.
Firefighters plead for fire prevention. Just hours ago, family and friends held a prayer vigil to remember that 3-year-old Jefferson County boy. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush, and Allred has the night off. The fire broke out this morning on Diamond Drive in High Ridge, and our Robert Townsend talked with firefighters who are now spreading life-saving reminders that they hope can prevent future tragedies.
He's the sweetest little boy you would ever meet.
Many neighbors saw the Strawberg family's home in High Ridge in a raging fire Tuesday morning. They rushed to try and save a trapped 3-year-old Caden.
We had hoses and fire extinguishers, and we did everything we could to get him out, and I was comforting Sabrina, the mother.
Sadly, they could not get to Caden in time. We're told the child died in his front bedroom. His mom and 4-year-old brother were treated for smoke inhalation.
It's really hard to describe. It's the most difficult thing that we have to do.
Hours later, a makeshift memorial of flowers and stuffed animals covered the little boy's bike. That as Caden's loved ones and neighbors gathered to remember him. Investigators say the family's smoke detector was not working at the time of the fire. This week marks National Fire Safety Week, and here in Jefferson County, firefighters are now spreading important messages about safety.
Smoke detectors, obviously, making sure that they're working. You really should be checking those weekly.
Also, have an escape plan in the event your home catches fire.
You need to make sure you know at least 2 ways out of your home. Practice that with your families.
Firefighters also say never turn on your stove to heat up your home, and never plug a space heater and other things into one electrical outlet.
Anytime you overload a circuit, wiring heats up and you can have a fire.
We will help them any way that we can.
In Jefferson County, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And tonight, Caden's brother remains in the hospital. Investigators haven't determined what caused that fire. Tonight, we have new video of a deadly crash in North St. Louis. Police now believe it was caused by street racing. Surveillance video from last night shows a red Mustang and white Mustang speeding down Kings Highway. The red car slammed into a Chevy Cobalt at the intersection of St. Louis Avenue. The driver of the Chevy died. 3 passengers were thrown from the car and seriously injured. The driver of the red Mustang was taken to the hospital. The white Mustang drove off. No word yet on any charges. A woman is dead after a bizarre crash along Interstate 64 in Midtown St. Louis. Police say the woman was killed when a boulder crashed through her windshield. This happened in the westbound lanes near Grand this afternoon. Police have not yet said where that boulder came from. We'll be asking them questions over the next few days. Tonight, more rain and storms are moving our way. Severe weather is not expected, but you could hear some rumbles of thunder in the morning. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott, and he's tracking it tonight. Jim.
Yeah, hi, Mike. So round 2 is on the way. Now, today it was quite rainy anywhere from Lincoln County through Pike County, Missouri, and northern Calhoun County in Illinois. Troy had about 0.70 of an inch of rainfall, but then you get to Park Hills and Farmington, less than 1/10 of an inch of rain. So here's how it's set up throughout the day. St. Louis and around the metro, not a lot, but 0.2 of an inch at the airport. And then, of course, where you see the green there, north of Troy and south of Bowling Green, up to 1 inch of rainfall. So where are we right now? A couple of showers east of St. Louis at the moment. A lot of our Illinois counties seeing some light rain. And then north of Columbia, north of Moberly, we had a couple lightning strikes there. But this is the next system, round 2, where we have a lot of thunderstorms popping up right around Nebraska. And that cold front is headed our way for the morning hours. So over the next 12 hours, you can see the precip chances start to go up by 7 a.m., 60%. And thunder is included in on that. Also some rain, maybe some downpours, and we'll time it out for you coming up in just a bit, Mike.
All right, Jim, we'll see you then. Tonight, the father of a toddler who accidentally shot himself is in police custody. It happened yesterday afternoon in the parking lot of an AutoZone on South Kings Highway. Police say 2-year-old Israel Worley was waiting in the car with his mom when he found the gun in the center console. The boy shot himself in the head, later died at the hospital. Police say the boy's father admitted to owning the gun. The child abuse unit is investigating. Tonight, a call for safer streets in St. Louis County after 3 people were hit by cars in the span of hours. 2 of those people died. Last night, a woman suffered serious injuries in a hit and run on Jennings Station Road near Florence Place. And about an hour later in Overland, a woman was hit and killed near the intersection of Woodson and Midland. That driver stayed on the scene. And early this morning, a man was killed in a hit and run on St. Charles Rock Road in Normandy. The group Safer Streets says county ordinance and roads are outdated.
Look at what we have today. The results of this is what we're living with, and it doesn't have to be this way. It can be fixed.
All 3 crashes remain under investigation. A brand new resource center is opening up to help men in need overcome barriers to find work. It's part of the work the Urban League of St. Louis is doing with the help from the state. Brent Solomon joins us now with a look at the Urban League's expansion to South City.
Well, until now, the Urban League had 14 different locations across St. Louis. Tonight, that number has grown to 15 locations across the city and 20 in the region. It's why city and state leaders joining the National Urban League staff today and celebrating the expansion of the Save Our Sons program. That's an initiative that helps men find and keep a job. Those as early as 17 and as old as 65 can get access to clothing, life skills training, and so much more to better prepare them to get a 9-to-5. The Urban League opened its latest workforce center on Cherokee Street in the Benton Park West neighborhood today, an area intended to serve the heart of the community for those who can certainly use these services.
We have to be intentional about going and saving our communities. And the way you save our communities and empower individuals is to give them hope. And the way you give them hope is to give them a position, a job, but you also give them the confidence to go into that interview and get the job.
Organizers say cutting down crime happens when you reduce poverty. They say this is helping make that happen. Mayor Tashara Jones adding today people are less likely to pick up a gun if they're picking up a paycheck. Mike.
Brent, thanks. Tonight, 7 dogs rescued from a southern Missouri property. They're being cared for now in St. Louis. The Humane Society's Animal Cruelty Task Force says they were taken from one of the worst breeders in the country. Rescuers describe the unlicensed breeder in Douglas County as a repeat offender with a long history of animal mistreatment and breeding violations. The dogs are being treated for cuts and other medical conditions. They will eventually be available for adoption. It's official, Topgolf is coming to Midtown St. Louis. And while many are ready to tee off, some neighbors are teed off. It will be built at the corner of Compton and Choteau, just south of I-64. And 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski is there live tonight with reaction.
Yeah, Mike, there's certainly a lot of excitement building around the new Topgolf that's going to be built right here in Midtown near Sue's campus. But some neighbors and some who work in the area are concerned about the traffic it'll bring. It's not much right now, but in about a year, this empty lot at the corner of Compton and Choteau will be turned into Topgolf. Construction has already started.
It's a 15-acre site, 3-story building. You'll go ahead and enter onto the first floor and then be able to play on the 3 floors and then hit right into the arch into downtown.
Mike Bauer works in the area and says he's thrilled to see Topgolf coming to Midtown.
So to add a place like Topgolf to Midtown, an area that really needs this kind of redevelopment, I think it's a great thing for the neighborhood. I think it's going to be a great place for students and young professionals to gather. I think it could bring a lot to this area.
The executive director of St. Louis Midtown Redevelopment Corporation, Brooks Gettiger, says the entertainment attraction will bring this corner to life.
This is going to be 425 jobs that's created. Thousands of people are going to be coming here on a weekly basis, and it will be open from morning to night, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
But that's exactly what some neighbors and others who work in the area are concerned about. The traffic could be too much. Meredith Basman took her frustrations to Facebook, saying, given the lack of traffic enforcement currently and the increase in traffic that Target and Topgolf will bring, plus the added traffic when the Armory opens, I can't even begin to imagine how dangerous it will be in this area. Shai K says, being a lifelong city resident, we need more things for us to do, but I fear it could be unsafe, and not to mention the residents, my neighbors, being forced out due to the revitalization that they're focused on. It's not fair to them. I asked Gettiger about traffic concerns.
Is this area able to handle kind of the traffic that comes with it?
We believe that this is a great location because thousands of people pass by it on a daily basis.
Now, if everything goes according to schedule, the developer says Topgolf will be open this time next year. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Police precinct problem.
It doesn't serve the public well. It doesn't serve the officers who have to work there well.
St. Louis County voters approved 2 new buildings 5 years ago, but construction hasn't even started. Tonight, the I-Team looks into the delay and the millions it's costing taxpayers.
One more rainy day, then cooler, sunshine, and windy. I'll let you know if that'll last through the weekend.
Tonight, the civilian death toll mounts in Ukraine as Russian missiles once again rain down on cities across the country. Russian President Vladimir Putin calls this new round of deadly strikes retaliation for the blast that damaged a bridge connecting Russia to Crimea. Ukraine's president renewed his plea to G7 leaders for increased military assistance. Tonight, President Biden is pledging to hold Russia accountable and support Ukraine. In an interview with CNN, the president gave his take on Putin's state of mind over his threats of using nuclear weapons.
I think he thought he was going to be welcomed with open arms. That this has been the home of Mother Russia in Kyiv, and he was going to be welcomed. And I think he just totally miscalculated.
Also tonight, cybersecurity officials are promising the U.S. is ready to respond. This after Russian hackers took credit for shutting down several airport websites yesterday, including Lambert Airport. New tonight, our I-Team has learned the years it took to finalize new police precincts in St. Louis County is costing you a lot of tax money. We wanted to know why it took 5 years to start building. Our Christine Byers breaks down the numbers and the reasons county leaders gave about the process.
It's not a priority until there's an election.
Matt Crecilius is the business manager for the St. Louis County Police Association. He was around when voters approved a half-cent sales tax known as Prop P in 2017. It included money to build 2 new precinct stations at these locations.
How bad are these precincts?
Well, the 3rd precinct, they were moved out of that building overnight because of severe mold issues.
He says the existing 3rd precinct at Old Tesson Ferry and Griffin Road is too small.
We're talking about a 60, 70 officer precinct and probably a 1,000 square foot building.
Crecilius says the same goes for the North County precinct, which was built for 50 to 60 officers. Right now, it houses double that.
It doesn't serve the public well. It doesn't serve the officers who have to work there well.
5.5 years ago, was there a sense that this was going to get going right away?
Oh, yeah.
But it didn't, and costs kept ballooning. Crecilius says 2019 estimates put the cost of the precincts at about $18.5 million. Now, it's estimated the facilities will cost nearly double, $33.5 million taxpayer dollars. County Executive Sam Page was on the council 3 years ago.
What has taken so long?
The initial cost estimates on the police stations weren't quite on the mark.
And he says the police department asked for more features.
In addition, unfortunately, the inflationary environment that we're in has added costs to the police precincts as well.
Is there anything more you could have done over the last 5.5 years to speed these things along?
Well, construction in government takes a long time, and 3 to 5 years is about a normal timeline.
How much more money is this costing taxpayers, this delay?
The additional features, the land acquisition, and the construction inflation probably added about 50% to the original estimate.
The construction announcement came as a surprise to many police officers in the county, including the police chief. In other records obtained by the I-Team, the chief said in a meeting that he didn't know construction was getting started until he turned on the TV.
Why make this announcement without telling the police chief?
The police chief has been involved in the process from the beginning.
People are saying this is a political thing, that you wanted to make this announcement right before the election.
We will continue to build police stations to keep people safe in St. Louis County, regardless of whether or not we're in an election season.
Corsilia says there's no excuse for the delays.
It's purely political.
Page's office says a groundbreaking ceremony for the South County precinct is scheduled for October 19th. The North County precinct doesn't have a date yet. Page said he hopes to have ribbon cuttings at both locations in about 18 months, and he expects the chief of police to be there.
Well, tonight, a growing memorial on Angela Lansbury's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The award-winning star of film, television, and Broadway died today.
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Beverly was murdered.
A longtime star, Lansbury became a household name in the 1980s with her hit primetime show Murder, She Wrote. Future generations were introduced to her as the voice of Mrs. Potts in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Her family says she died in her sleep in her Los Angeles home. Angela Lansbury was 96 years old. Well, tomorrow marks 2 weeks since Hurricane Ian made landfall along Florida's southwest coast. Sanibel Island has been cut off from the mainland since the storm took out 5 sections of the causeway. Well, today, utility trucks were able to drive across the repaired bridge. Crews can now work to restore power to the island, and state officials say the causeway will reopen to the public next week. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. We finally got a little rain, much needed rain, and we might get a little more.
Yes, and I looked back. So on the 11th of September is the last time we had 33/100ths of an inch of rainfall, the most we've had until today. And it's really been 17 days with no measurable rainfall. But today about 1900ths at Lambert, 74 degrees right now. You know, that temperature went up to 76 degrees this evening with a strong south wind gusting to 24 miles an hour right now. So 76 the high, 62 for the overnight low. It's going to be a really warm night, probably the midnight high, 73 or 74 where we're at right now. And you can see on the radar shot, a couple of showers, and they've been light all the way from east of the Mississippi River. And then we've seen some thunder and lightning north of Columbia, north of Moberly, Missouri. And then that has faded, so nothing big and not expecting any severe weather. But then we look back to the north and west, and here is that round 2, or at least a stronger cold front. And there's a lot of thunderstorm activity out ahead of this in the red there, so that approaches us tomorrow. So showers and some rumbles of thunder in the morning hours. We've been taken out of the marginal risk of severe weather, so we're not expecting that, but maybe some downpours, maybe some lightning, maybe a little bit of thunder in there as we head into the morning hours. Here is the future cast at about 9 a.m. When you see the yellows and the oranges, that's the heavier rain. It'll be very isolated. It doesn't look widespread, but then as it moves east of St. Louis, it might develop a little bit more into the afternoon hours, so we'll watch that through the noon hour. And then during the afternoon, maybe some redevelopment popping up right around the city eastward. But then we clear up, and then we get really windy, and it's a little chilly as we head into Thursday. But more rain, possible thunder, mainly early Wednesday through probably at least the noon hour or early afternoon. And we're hoping for another 1/4 inch of rain. And again, that marginal risk of severe weather tonight may be Pike County, but an isolated wind gust there. Again, not really expecting that. Ingredients are not coming together for it. And then for tomorrow, we're out of the severe weather risk. All right, lows tonight in the 60s. And here's the 10-day forecast. There it is, Thursday, windy. Wind gust of 35 miles an hour. And the chance of, you wouldn't want to burn outside on this day because we have a chance of seeing the wildfires, and definitely very dry and windy, 65. Friday, sunshine, 67. We're back to 74 Saturday, maybe a passing shower at night, but colder by Monday and Tuesday in the 50s for highs.
All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, what an unbelievable day in baseball. What a season the basketball Billikens may have, and what a player we have at St. Louis U High. Stick around, please.
If you have a tip for the 5 on Your Side I-Team, call us at 314-444-5231 or email 5onyourside@ksdk.com. All calls and correspondence will be kept confidential.
So a few years ago, the Cardinals traded an outfielder for a left-handed pitcher. That outfielder, Randy Arozarena, set a postseason record by homering 10 times. This year, the Cardinals traded an outfielder for a left-handed starting pitcher. Now, I'm not saying that former outfielder, Harrison Bader, will break that record, but he got off to a good start tonight.
So one team since then has changed its name. The other team has twice changed its location, and Bader may change the scoreboard. This is into the seats.
Matt Carpenter loved that moment for Harrison against the Guardians. The young man from New York hits a playoff homer for the Yankees. New York wins Game 1 4-1. Astros fans couldn't look. Down 7-5 to the Mariners in the ninth. With 2 on and 2 out, the M's went to last year's Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray to face Yordan Alvarez. Okay, maybe she's going to have to take a look right about now. Good idea. Alvarez takes it deep and calls game. A walk-off 3-run homer. Houston comes off the deck to win Game 1 8-7. And the Phillies picked up against the Braves where they left off with the Cardinals. Nick Castellanos with the 4th inning base hit that will score 2 and put the Phillies up 6-1. Atlanta rallied in the 9th to make it respectable. Matt Olson with a 3-run bomb. However, the Phillies take Game 1, the final 7-6. So in just 13 days, the basketball Billikens will open up their season by playing my alma mater, the UMSL Tritons. I went to the SLU practice today to get some secrets. No, not really. UMSL has been terrific lately, but it won't make a difference that night. SLU is special, a preseason top 25 and really locked in. Check this out. This was an hour before practice today, and that's the big fella, Francis Okoro, drenched in sweat, working on his game. On the other side of the court, it was Gibson Jimerson, just not missing a three-pointer and working on his craft. After that, it was a film session, going over what happened at the last practice. They can't leave a stone unturned. They know they can be really good.
We didn't get to our potential last year, and this year, why not? We got a chance to prove something to ourselves, and especially to the fans. We owe them a lot this year.
This season is a big deal. We all know that, so every single day we just try to take it day by day and just work hard and try to make progress, be better than we were yesterday.
Basketball is the ultimate team sport, I think, but our team can't be great if every individual player doesn't do his own job, reach his own potential. So use that and want to be the best you've ever been right now. Don't take anything for granted.
Really pumped up about 5 on your sideline this Friday at 10:15. There's a girl booting field goals at Granite City. A look at that fabulous East St. Louis dynasty. And then there's this exquisite talent at St. Louis U High. Take a look at the 5-star junior wide receiver Ryan Wingo. 38 offers already, 4.4 40 speed with great size. Remember Luther Burden? Sure you do. This is the new one, averaging 22 yards per catch. Mike, look at him run right here. 13 touchdowns. And he's also a weapon on special teams.
Every time we're back for a kick return or a punt return, when we see the ball get kicked to him, we get really excited on the headset. We're like, oh, they kicked it to him. Because he's just so dangerous with the ball in his hands in the open field.
Trying my best with all the opportunities I get whenever I get the ball. There's a lot of double team, triple team that go on. So like punt returns, every time I catch those, I try to at least get so a lot of yards or score. But I think I'm having a pretty decent season.
His goal is to break the touchdown record at St. Louis U High, held by his brother.
And everybody wants him. Any chance he'd go to Mizzou?
I think Mizzou is in it. I think Tennessee is really, really working him hard.
All right. Thanks, Frank. Well, holiday sales are off to an early start, while the early bird won't necessarily get the worm. Shoppers could see major discounts this holiday season. Adobe Analytics says price cuts could be as much as a third or more. Expect deep discounts on electronics, toys, appliances, clothes, and sporting goods. The majority of deals are expected between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. Don't plan on shopping at Kohl's on Turkey Day. The retailer announced it's closing all of its stores for the holiday. Shoppers will still find deals online. Target and Best Buy have already announced they will be closed on Thanksgiving. The last of the original coaches is leaving NBC's The Voice. Blake Shelton announced today he'll step away after the upcoming spring season. The country singer has been with the singing competition show since it debuted in 2011. It's an opportunity for fans of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile to relish. The newest hot dog on wheels will be in the St. Louis area Thursday through Sunday. They promise a fun time. If you would like to catch up with it, go to the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. And that script was the worst. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. See you tomorrow.